Dear students, greetings for the day. Today we will continue our discussion about Internet. What is the www? www stands for World Wide Web. A technical definition of the World Wide Web is all the resources and users on the Internet that are using the Hypertext Transfer Protocol, HTTP. A broader definition comes from the organization that web inventor Tim Berners-Lee helped found, the World Wide Web Consortium, W3C. The World Wide Web is the universe of network-accessible information, an embodiment of human knowledge. In simple terms, the World Wide Web is a way of exchanging information between computers on the Internet, tying them together into a vast collection of interactive multimedia resources. World Wide Web was created by Timothy Berners-Lee in 1989 at CERN in Geneva. World Wide Web came into existence as a proposal by him to allow researchers to work together effectively and efficiently at CERN. Eventually it became World Wide Web. www works on client-server approach. Following steps explains how the web works. User enters the URL, say, http://www.tutorialspoint.com, of the web page in the address bar of web browser. Then browser requests the domain name server for the IP address corresponding to www.tutorialspoint.com. After receiving IP address, browser sends the request for web page to the web server using HTTP protocol, which specifies the way the browser and web server communicates. Then web server receives request using HTTP protocol and checks its search for the requested web page. If found, it returns it back to the web browser and close the HTTP connection. Now the web browser receives the web page. It interprets it and display the contents of web page in web browser !macron s window. Web page is a document available on World Wide Web. Web pages are stored on web server and can be viewed using a web browser. A web page can contain huge information including text, graphics, audio, video and hyperlinks. These hyperlinks are the link to other web pages. Static web page. Static web pages are also known as flat or stationary web page. They are loaded on the client's browser as exactly they are stored on the web server. Such web pages contain only static information. User can only read the information but can't do any modification or interact with the information. Static web pages are created using only HTML. Static web pages are only used when the information is no more required to be modified. Dynamic web page. Dynamic web page shows different information at different point of time. It is possible to change a portée and of our web page without loading the entire web page. It has been made possible using AJAX technology. Server-side dynamic web page. It is created by using server-side scripting. There are server-side scripting parameters that determine how to assemble a new web page, which also includes setting up of more client-side processing. Client-side dynamic web page. It is processed using client-side scripting such as JavaScript, and then passed into Document Object Model (DOM). Web browser is an application software that allows us to view and explore information on the web. User can request for any web page by just entering a URL into address bar. Web browser can show text, audio, video, animation and more. It is the responsibility of a web browser to interpret text and commands contained in the web page. Search engine refers to a huge database of internet resources such as web pages, news groups, programs, images, etc. It helps to locate information on World Wide Web. User can search for any information by passing query in form of keywords or phrase. It then searches for relevant information in its database and return to the user. Search engine components. Generally, there are three basic components of a search engine as listed below. Web crawler. It is also known as spider or bots. It is a software component that traverses the web to gather information. Database. All the information on the web is stored in database. It consists of huge web resources. Search interfaces. This component is an interface between user and the database. It helps the user to search through the database. Search engine working. Web crawler, database and the search interface are the major component of a search engine that actually makes search engine to work. Search engines make use of Boolean expression and, or, not to restrict and widen the results of a search. Following are the steps that are performed by the search engine. The search engine looks for the keyword in the index for predefined database instead of going directly to the web to search for the keyword. It then uses software to search for the information in the database. This software component is known as web crawler. Once web crawler finds the pages, the search engine then shows the relevant web pages as a result. These retrieved web pages generally include title of page, size of text portion, first several sentences, etc. Web server is a computer where the web content is stored. Basically, web server is used to host the websites, but there exists other web servers also, such as gaming, storage, FTP, email, etc. Website is collection of web pages, while web server is a software that respond to the request for web resources. Web server respond to the client request in either of the following two ways: sending the file to the client associated with the requested URL, generating response by invoking a script, and communicating with database.